Hey everyone, this is Karri from Linear. I just wanted to show you one way I'm using the Linear agent in my product work. As many other product builders, we get a lot of feature requests, and here's one that I received a couple weeks ago where someone tweeted that, hey, I want my knowledge base to be in the place where my work is happening, which I answered makes sense to me because it does. So this triggered me to think about this problem again. This is not a new problem. We've heard about this over the years. We also have our own need for around this, but it's always been, is this the most important thing for us to do? Or is this something we should prioritize? But I think this is worthwhile now. I think a lot has changed with this AI agent stuff. And if we are focused on more of this context, being a context layer for agents, I think the documents make a lot of sense there. So let's research this topic with Linear. So we have this product management team where we collect customer requests. They get automatically collected from con calls or intercom emails. We also manually collect them from various places on Slack and Twitter and different places. We have over 40,000 customer requests currently in there. So it gives us a lot of surface to look into various problems and how customers talk about them. And this is available for anyone in the company, not just me, but like anyone who is building something or even thinking about these things. And then I'm using this Linear way as a skill. And it's a skill I created by feeding the agent some of our blog posts that we have written about how we operate on Linear. And it created me the skill that tries to operate that way. And what it does really is writes me a briefing that focuses on the problem and the underlying needs versus like the actual solutions. And then I asked it to give me some quotes, but because this is a demo, then let's remove the actual customer names because we don't want to expose that. So it's thinking here, going through, it's looking for these different topics that I told you to look at. And now we start something. So the docs demand is really about this context layer demand. And it's saying like the cluster is bigger than the idea of add a wiki product. They seem to consistently point to the same need. People want durable context, notes, and documents that live alongside work before, during, and after execution. Makes sense. Currently, you can only create documents in projects and initiatives, which is during the execution, but we don't have a place where you actually start the execution. How do you start thinking about the execution? And what I'm doing now here. I think there's this idea of keeping product context as the same system where planning, execution, feedback already happens. I agree with that. I think there's a workflow where you start with this pre-work context where let's think about this problem and then think about what is the actual potential execution. Maybe it's multiple projects, maybe it's one project, maybe we shouldn't even do it. So we have this system that is quite strong around work objects, but it's not strong in this planning, or it's more like flexible objects. And so then it goes into it's really asking for this first class context layer. And then it also now creates me this recommended product direction, durable, non-project bound document spaces, like team and workspace scope. So like basically, let's create documents for teams and documents for the workspace. And then let the documents attach cleanly to entities. And this it fits the directions. Personally, I don't want to build a wiki. I don't like wiki products. I think documents are much more artifacts of doing something. And I think once the doing is over, I think the artifact is fine to exist in a system, but I don't want to maintain these libraries or hierarchies of documents. I think it should be maintained by itself, by the work itself. But like the problem sometimes with LLMs is that they tend to agree with you. So let's reverse this. Why shouldn't we build this for Linear? So sometimes I like to just think about perspectives, ask this question in multiple ways. In this, I'm just asking the opposite. So it's just trying to go with the underlying need. It's saying this can be like a trap where people often say, I want my system, everything in one place. But in reality, I think that's always not the best solution. Sometimes it's good to have different spaces for different things. So it's saying it can be a potential trap to go too deep into this. It's like Linear, it says Linear works because it's opinionated about execution. Knowledge base is more messier. And so if we lean too far into it, it can create Linear. It's a much more like messier workspace. and kind of like reducing the value we have, being very specific what we do. That's giving me the different reasons, expands the scope. There's going to be a lot of pressure on various features after that when we add this. It can dilute the mental model. It's hard to win this. Like the market is very crowded. We might be actually thinking about this wrong, but so I think it gives me some like good reasons that why maybe I shouldn't do this. But I think it kind of gives me the idea is we need to be really careful what we build here and make sure that the scope is tight and we don't go too crazy on this. So let's type in the proposal why we should do it, link all the customer information, add this to my documents project. So this is like showing the problem I have now. It's like I don't have a place for this. There's no project for this right now. So I had to use this, my hack, which is a documents, project called document. So I can just create this somewhere. So it's also to showcase this. The system is too limiting currently. And I think like as people start using these agents more, because they're often operate through text, they generate a lot of text, it might make sense to allow them to also write more and into various places. So it's now running the brief, and like my plan here is to take this brief, share it with some product leads. We will talk about it, and I'll love to hear what other people think about it. Okay, now it's created the document, so it's here. I can click into it. It looks good. It has like a bunch of the requests linked in. So this can be like a good starting point for a lot of people to think about it. I think also other people should go and do this work themselves, ask the question they want to ask. I can be biased, like I can look at this in a certain way, and then other people might have a different way of looking at it. So this is just, if you don't have time to look into this yourself, here's a document, but if you have time, you probably could do it yourself. But I'll share this doc with the team, and then I think we'll go from there.